There are two ways to own a car, either buying one or leasing one. When you buy a car, you take a loan out on the car and pay it off. When you lease a car, you're paying monthly payments to rent the car for a period of time and then you give it back. When you lease a car, you are only paying for the percentage you use of it. For example, let's say a new Honda Civic is $30,000 and you want to lease it for only 3 years. The dealership will calculate that in the 3 years you're using the car, you have used 40% of the car's value. Therefore, even though the car's $30,000, you are only going to make payments on $12,000 of the car because that is the portion of the Civic that you used. There are some major reasons to lease, and the first goes back to the payments. Since you're only paying on a percentage of the car, not 100% of the car, your lease payments will be much lower than if you were buying the car. There's also an aspect of variety. When your lease term expires, most people give the car back. Then you are car free and you can go into another lease for a brand new car if you like. This allows you to try many different cars and you get to keep up with the latest. Mileage is another thing that comes into mind. Leases have kilometer limits, generally in tiers. So 12,000 kilometers a year, 15,000 kilometers a year, and 20,000 kilometers a year. The higher the tier you pick, the more expensive your monthly payment will be. If you are someone who does not drive much, you could get away with getting the lowest tier and have an even lower monthly payment. However, just keep in mind, if you do go over your limit at the end of the term, you will be charged for every kilometer you are over. The other great thing about leasing is that at the end of your lease term, you actually have an option to buy the car at its current value. So let's take the Civic example again. After 3 years, you use $12,000 of the car, so there's $18,000 left. When your lease is up, you can purchase the car for $18,000, but you must do it upfront immediately after your lease is over. And finally, the lack of maintenance. Cars typically have a lot of maintenance costs after the first 5 years. Since leases are generally between 3 to 5 years, as your car starts to experience these costs, you'll have already given it back and not have to worry. For these reasons, this is why leasing can be very advantageous.